When did the certainties begin to crumble in the Bronx? Maybe it started during that stretch of games when the offense simply stopped, when the bats went silent, and all that remained was the weight of expectation. Or maybe it was when, behind the scenes, a veteran name, previously untouchable, began to be questioned by those who had always defended him. At the same time, a new name began to emerge on the radar. Someone from the outside, a possible savior, an arm that could change everything. As the locker room searches for answers and the clock ticks toward the trade deadline, two stories are about to collide. On one side, an internal legend may be reaching the end of his journey in pinstripes. On the other, a rumor is gaining steam involving one of the most dangerous pitchers in the National League. And the price for him won't be cheap. But are the Yankees ready to make tough decisions? Or will they hesitate once again? If you're a Yankee at heart, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because today, we're going to reveal two major stories about what's really happening in New York and what could explode in the coming days. One thing's for sure, after this, the Bronx won't be the same. Story number 2. What happens when the silence of the bat starts to echo louder than the roar of the crowd in the Bronx? For a long time, DJ LeMahieu was the symbol of stability, one of those players who didn't need to shout to be heard. On the field, he spoke through numbers, through consistent hitting, through calmness, through reliability. But this week, as the Yankees face their worst losing streak of the season, something changed. For the first time in years, DJ no longer looks like the anchor, but rather the weight pulling the ship down. The Yankees offense, which started 2024 as one of the most feared in the league, has stopped. Literally, 30 consecutive innings without scoring a run, 6 straight losses, and the sense that everything is falling apart right when it was supposed to come together. Because this season was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be the year of resurgence. Aaron Judge healthy, Juan Soto in the Bronx, a revamped rotation. But the cold, unforgiving numbers tell a different story. And now, for the first time, DJ LeMahieu's name is at the epicenter of a possible change. The kind that hurts but might be necessary. If you're a real Yankees fan, drop a like and subscribe right now. Because here, there's no sugarcoating or ready-made excuses. Just raw behind-the-scenes insight, serious analysis, and the Bronx as it truly is. Intense, demanding, and passionate. On ESPN's Baseball Tonight podcast, journalist Buster Olney, one of MLB's most respected insiders, didn't leave room for doubt. The guy to watch, no question, is DJ LeMahieu, he said. That sentence, delivered plainly, hits like a punch to anyone who knows his player's journey with the team. At 36, DJ is about to turn 37. And although he was once a 2-time batting champion and a 3-time All-Star, today he stands at the edge of a statistical cliff. His OPS in 2024 is just .527, over 67 games. His offensive slash line is below what you'd expect even from a bench player. A .244 average, .333 OBP, and just .341 slugging. Numbers that don't match a $15 million per year salary. And even less so a prominent spot in the offensive rotation of a team with October dreams. It's hard to look at DJ and not think of 2019, that magical year when he seemed to carry the team on his back. The clutch hits, the composure against the league's best pitchers. Or even 2020, when despite a shortened calendar, he was one of the best players in all of MLB. But since then, everything has changed. His body started to take a toll. Injuries came. The impact faded. And now, Even after returning from a foot injury, his offensive production simply hasn't returned, and it might not come back. Behind the scenes, signs of change have begun to appear subtly but meaningfully. When Jazz Chisholm Jr. came off the injured list, the Yankees immediately moved him to third base full-time, a move that, according to Olney, was no coincidence. The idea was to maintain roster flexibility in case a tough decision needed to be made. In other words, the Yankees are preparing for the moment DJ LeMahieu ceases to be a core piece and becomes expendable. But removing DJ from the lineup isn't as simple as it sounds. There's an emotional factor. He's respected in the clubhouse. He was one of the faces of the franchise during the years when the rebuild was trying to turn into contention. There's also a financial factor. LeMahieu signed a 6-year, $90 million contract in January 2021. 2 years remain at $15 million per season. And for another team to take on that contract, given his current performance, the Yankees would likely have to eat almost an entire amount and still might receive nothing in return. That's practically the same as admitting the investment didn't work. And for an organization as proud as the Yankees, that's a bitter pill to swallow. But what's the cost of not acting? The team is stuck. The offense is stalling in crucial games. And while Aaron Judge and Juan Soto do everything and more to keep the team afloat, the rest of the roster isn't keeping up. Names like LeMahieu, who should be cornerstones, have become question marks. Worse, they become targets of fan frustration as the calls for bolder changes grow louder. Because in New York, no one escapes public judgment, especially when the promise was a championship team. The season isn't lost yet, but time is running out. And for many, LeMahieu is no longer part of the solution. He's become the symbol of a past era, of a style of play that has aged. And maybe that's exactly why his removal from the lineup, or even from the roster, is now being discussed so casually by analysts and insiders. So, Yankees fan, would you hold on to this hope, praying it turns to gold? Or is it time to cut ties and move on, even if the cost is high? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this channel is made for those who live and breathe Yankees with their soul. Story number 1. How many extra wins can a single pitcher bring? How many tight games, decided in the details, in the chill of the 9th inning, depends solely on having a reliable arm on the mound. For the Yankees, that question has been echoing louder and louder in recent weeks. Because if there's one team where expectations are heavy, it's in New York. The Bronx doesn't accept excuses. And after a promising start, reality is beginning to collect its debt. The offense has gone cold. Confidence has dropped. And even though they're still in the race, the Yankees know something's missing. Someone's missing. And in that context, one name has started circulating behind the scenes of MLB with increasing momentum: Freddy Peralta. He may not be Garrett Cole, but right now, he might be exactly what the Yankees need. If you live and breathe this team, drop a like and subscribe now, because the next few weeks could define the entire season. And here, you get every behind-the-scenes detail, every rumor, every decision with the intensity that only Bronx fans understand. Let's rewind a bit. Even before the season started, the Yankees took a hit that changed everything. Garrett Cole out, Tommy John surgery. The ace, the leader, the heart of the rotation. Without him, the responsibility was spread across the staff. Max Fried responded like a giant. Carlos Rodon found his rhythm again. Ryan Yarbrough has done his job with consistency. But everyone knows that's not enough in October. Cole's absence is an open wound. And no matter what they say in interviews, no one on the roster fills that space. Not in leadership, not in command, not in presence. And with Luis Gil still not having pitched this year, management knows the solution won't come from within. The market then becomes inevitable. That's where Freddy Peralta comes in. MLB insider Mark Feinsand, one of the most respected voices in baseball, confirmed it. The Yankees are watching him, and they're not alone. Orioles, Braves, Blue Jays, all with similar ambitions, all looking for that ace who can change a game. But none of them carry the weight of the Bronx. None feel the urgency of the Yankees, who haven't won a World Series since 2009 and feel, year after year, the pressure to reclaim their identity. Freddy Peralta is just 28 years old. He pitches with power, variety, and guts. He's already proven in the playoffs that he can handle pressure, and he still has one more year of team control. He's not just a rental. He could be part of the core for 2025 as well. A technical investment, a pillar to bridge the gap until Cole's full return. But none of this comes cheap. Jim Riley from the Ballcap Sports Channel proposed a realistic and painful trade scenario. To get Peralta, the Yankees would have to give up Clark Schmidt, a young starter with multiple years of control left, and also Rafael Flores, the organization's number 15 prospect. These aren't throwaway pieces. But when it comes to winning in New York, what's worth more? The now or the maybe someday? The Brewers front office has a clear track record. They sell at peak value. They did it with Josh Hader, with Corbin Burns, with Devin Williams. They're pragmatic. They don't like losing players to free agency with nothing in return. And they know Peralta, with just 1 year control left after the season, could bring in a major return right now. Later? Maybe not. And beyond that, the current moment in Milwaukee favors this type of move. Their roster is stacked with quality arms. Jacob Misiorowski debuted with authority. Logan Henderson impressed. Aaron Civale, despite being useful, was already traded due to the overflow of options. And the imminent return of Brandon Woodruff will only crowd things further. With so much depth, the Brewers can trade without weakening the rotation. And they can do it with both the present and future in mind. As always, they want pieces of help now, but also build for tomorrow. Schmidt, with his years of control, fits that profile. Flores could become a developmental piece. The trade makes sense for both sides. But does it make sense emotionally? To Yankees fans, Schmidt is a familiar name. Not a star, but a guy who fought, who came up through the system, who had his moments. Trading a young pitcher for an impact name is always a gamble. But Bronx history shows that the big championships almost always came from bold moves. CC Sabathia, Alex Rodriguez, Giancarlo Stanton all came at a cost. And still, fans remember the wins more than the price. Freddy Peralta, wearing the pinstripes, would be an instant impact addition. He'd add weight to the rotation. He'd stabilize October matchups. He'd send a message to the clubhouse. We're in, we're fighting, and above all, we still believe. Because maybe the most important factor here isn't technical at all. It's psychological. The recent offensive drought, the losing streak, the emotional grind of a long season, it all takes a toll. A reinforcement like Peralta doesn't just improve the team. He changes the atmosphere. He reignites the clubhouse. He gives a fan base hope. And who knows, maybe even takes the pressure off the hitters just enough to get them going again. But what about you, fan? Would you give up Schmidt and Flores for Peralta? Or would you wait until the end of July, risking another team jumping in and strengthening a direct rival? Comment below. Your opinion is worth more than any stat. It helps shape the conversation. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Because in the next video, we'll dive into an even tougher question. Is the Yankees front office truly ready to act like a team that wants to win now? Time is ticking. So are the opportunities. And in the Bronx, there's no mercy for those who wait too long.